Hello everybody, in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make a brick film from start to finish. I'm going to be shooting some just kind of test shots just to show you how to do this. I'm going to walk you through the whole process, tell you what you need, what kind of equipment you need, some great tips and stuff like that. Without further ado, let's go. Now the first thing you're going to need, this is very important, is a camera. I'm using a 14 megapixel standard, just point and shoot. A Sony, you can pretty much use anything you want, although I would not recommend using an iPhone, or an iPad, or any type of device like that, because they just, they don't really have that, outstanding image quality, and, they're a little bit more just awkward to use. Like, for example, on an iPad, it's going to move around a lot. It's going to be hard to keep it steady. And even if you do keep it steady, it kind of gets in the way a little too much. Whereas if you use a phone, yeah, but you can, but you're not going to get the great image quality you have on a camera. Now, granted, some phones have really good megapixel cameras, and of course, if you're able to develop a tripod, that could work. But I find it easier to use a simple camera because it really gets the job done. You can just snap the pictures with no fuss, without any phone stuff getting in the way. Another thing you're going to need is something to stabilize the camera. Now, I've just built this thing out of Lego. We just take the base plate, and then I fit my camera right in here. And you can see it kind of slides in there, and you kind of have a little room for movement, but you try to keep it steady. But if you need to, you can move. You can have strike some angles, stuff like that. The second thing you're going to need is a set. Now, I don't mean a Lego set. I actually mean like what you would find in a movie set. So for this, I'm just gonna have a simple thing on my tool. I love them almost here. I'm gonna bring this thing in here. Okay, this is my Verizon store that I built. Now this is the set. You see, I don't need the background because I have the blue kind of background. I'm not too worried about the background. But if you want, you can set a background. You can also set floor, stuff like that. But then you angle your camera in front here, and then you're going to need a subject that's going to be moved. So let me just grab a figure here. We use a stormtrooper. So I'm going to set him like right here, just in front. And then I'm going to turn on my camera, and then you can see we can see the picture right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of show you how to do this. Make sure your battery is all charged up. You're going to have to do this in different sequences, because unless the battery life in your camera is like an all-day battery, it's going to take a while. Now, that is a word of warning. Before you go into a brick film, make sure you're going to be able to dedicate the time to it, because, believe me, they are worth it at the end, but there's times when they can really get kind of frustrating. So, just a word of warning there. So I'm going to take my first picture here. I'm going to try to keep the camera steady, and then I'm going to move it just ever so slightly. And you can see here, you just kind of sail through really easily, take the picture, move the arm, or the head, or the leg, or whatever it is that you're moving. Cars are usually particularly easy, just walking can be a lot harder to animate. And as you can see, you can just do it quickly. You can just kind of go in here and snap, just make sure the camera doesn't move at all. You can also get, a really expensive tripod, or make one, Google, or search around how to make a quick tripod. But I find it easy to just do a simple Lego one, because if you have a little bit of movement, it's going so fast you're not going to notice. Although if you have a bunch of movement, it really does impact this. But a simple thing made out of Legos is actually really easy to make. So as you can see, he's moved his head here a little bit. Now this is a process, if you're not familiar with it, this process is known as stop motion. This is the main thing that you're going to be using for a brick film. It pretty much consists of moving an object, taking a picture, moving an object, taking a picture, and doing it like 1,000 times, so that it ends up with a quick, like little animation. Basically, it's also known as stop animation because that's what it is. It's an animation of an object. So go in here, take the pictures, really easy. And as you can see, it does take a little bit of time. I mean, it does get a little monotonous sometimes. But believe me, it's worth it. And then when you go in to do walking, I'm going to show it here. You're going to move the leg forward just a little bit. I'm trying not to move him much. I'm just moving the leg just a little bit. And I'm going to take the picture here. And then I'm going to move him just ever so slightly because he's turning here. Let's turn it a little bit. Turn. He's turning here. Turning in. And the other thing too, you probably noticed I have a bright light. Bright light causes excellent image quality. You want to make sure that you don't have too much reflection. I know mine is a little bit reflective. I need to fix that. But you just want to try to make sure you have good lighting, because if you have like dim light, you can see here, it turns out a lot grainier. Then you can see here, the image quality is much greater. So then, as I have this leg forward, I just simulate as if this leg went forward and landed on the ground, but then this leg is still behind. So then I'm going to take that picture, and then this leg is calling up to him. So then he goes like this. And then we're going to move the opposite leg forward, which is this leg. Take the picture, and then have him come forward like this, the same process. And then have this leg come forward. Like that. And then, again, this leg comes forward. And then this leg goes back. Like this. Easy, easy, easy. Okay, now, I'm going to do it one more time here. This leg comes forward, this one stays behind. Comes forward like that. And then this time, I'm actually going to make him turn into the store. So this time, this leg's going to lift up. And he's going to turn ever so slightly in here to the store. And you can see I'm just going to make him turn in. And then I'll maybe make his leg go like this, just to kind of give the illusion that so you get the point that he's going into the store. Okay, so that's it for this scene. I'm going to shoot another scene so that I can give you kind of an example of what the Brickfilm will look like when we put it together. But here's the inside of my store here. So I'm switching scenes here. This is kind of a change of position, change of scenes. And this you'll do this a lot in stop motion. So this is a good example of trying to get your camera in the right angle. So you can see here, there's lots of different stuff inside. I put some stickers, decals in this particular model, and there's a lot of stuff in the way. I mean, a lot of times you'll have to modify your model here. So I'm going to take out this guy because I don't need him, unless you want more movement. No, but I'm not going to, you don't know the character moving around. I'm going to take him out. And then also, I'm going to take this guy out because you can see he gets in the way a lot. And then I could go in here, my camera, and do a little zoom here. This won't affect the quality as long as it's analog, not a digital zoom, it's an actual, optical zoom. You can see, we can see the phones there, kind of the decal, and that is looking good to me. Now the other thing, is, this thing is getting in the way, so I'm going to take this off. Now this is as if the camera is, in here. This is the perspective is in here, right here, and that thing was getting in the way, so I just ended up moving it. And you're going to have to do this a lot, probably, but then you can see here, you can see everything great, and you want to make sure that it's not too much in the way. I'm probably going to put them, right here, and then I'm going to put, the employee right here, one leg, sometimes it's great for making them move, but you're gonna make them talk. Sometimes when you move the arms, they're gonna move a little bit. And if you don't want them, if you're not trying to make them move, they can be annoying and it doesn't look as good because they're accidentally moving the whole time. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the picture, do some arm movements, simple stuff like that. Sorry, my cat could be really loud sometimes. That's one thing too. Close your door, so that you can get, some, welcome relief from anybody doing anything, calling your name or any, distractions. It's great to have just a stress-free kind of time where you can just be in your room and, not have any distractions or anything. Anybody calling you because they need you or something like that. It's nice to be in your room, like, without any distractions. So then, because when you pick up where you've left off, you want to stay, it just doesn't work as good. You want to stay in one scene. Like, for example, when I was making that guy walk, if I would have walked away, the camera could have moved. I wouldn't have had the same position, maybe not the same lighting, because it would have been a different time of day. That wouldn't have looked as good. It would have worked, but it wouldn't have been as good as the way I did it, which was all in one scene. So you want to make sure you kind of do it in one sitting. A little bit of change of position of the hand there. Now remember, you can do anything here. Remember where they are sitting, or where they are standing. So that you can, it was 3 from here, so that you can pick them up and move their heads without moving them too much. You can take it and kind of move the head. Oh, I moved the head there. I'm going to move it one more time. Maybe a few times. Just make sure you put them back in the same position. That's the only thing that can get tricky about picking them up and taking them back, is remembering where their position was. And you can also do disappearing scenes, and for example, if you want to make them disappear, just pretty much take them off, take them apart. That's a interesting effect to do. Just basically take them away, and they're no longer in the scene. Another thing you can do is, like I showed you, walking, elements moving. For example, I can move this phone. Its piece isn't attached the best. I can move it, and nothing else changes except the phone moving. And then I can see I'm gonna move his hand a little bit. Playback or Brickfilm. After we get done with it, now I'm going to show you how to do it. This will be I'm going to make this a Brickfilm. I probably won't shoot the whole thing during the course of the video, because it would be a very short Brickfilm, or this would be an extremely long video. You don't want to see me take every picture. I'm trying to just show you some techniques, and we will see the finished product in the final tutorial. It's going to be split up into different parts. I'm going to show you the final thing in the tutorial. So I'm going to do another leg lift. Like that. So he's like here. He's going to turn a little bit, like as if he's looking at the iPhones. Another thing to keep in mind here is that if everything isn't perfect, don't worry about it. Because you will get better as time goes on, and you will end up with a lot more success after each Brickfilm. And remember, it's going at 1 frames per second, or it's going at 0.1. Each picture is going to be 0.1 seconds in length. That's the length I'm using. I mean, you can do a higher FPS, you can do a lower FPS. It's entirely up to you. But remember, everything's going so fast. If there's a little tiny, minute detail that isn't perfect in one picture, it's not going to be that bad. And of course, you want to make your videos as great as possible. But if there's one little thing that isn't perfect, people aren't going to notice all that much. They may notice, and you may get a few, comments of people complaining, but that's just people being mean. So just don't give in to that. People trying to tell you that you did a bad job and you made a little mistake in there, because as you get better, your videos will get better. As you do more and more, your videos will get a lot better. You actually notice that on the progression of my channel. If you notice, one of the first videos I uploaded was a very old music video that I did when I was a lot younger, and I didn't even hardly know what stop motion was. And then I gradually got better into stop motion music videos, and then now I'm doing brick films. So you eventually go into, you know, different stages of progress, and you get better, and you end up doing more and more stuff with it. You end up doing more effects. You know, the videos become longer. Your patience gets a lot better. And you have a lot more fun with it because you've done it a lot. You know what it's like, and you have a lot more fun. So I have this here. Let's see here. Just maybe pick up the iPhone. Or there's the iPad there. But yeah. And, I might do a change of position here. You see here, I'm not going to do any more movement. I'm just going to take the picture here. And then you can see he's looking at it. He's thinking about it. He's going to turn his head a little bit. Let me change the position a little bit. It's, you know, it takes a lot of patience, but it's worth it at the end. You can go in here and check how many pictures you've taken. Try to keep track of what picture like if you're on picture 800, then you know, and now that last one is 897, you know that you've taken a lot of pictures, and you know that that's how many you've taken. In an average brick film that's in mine, that's been a minute and a half. The last one I did was about a minute and a half in length. It took about 800 pictures. Now keep in mind, a lot of your time spent will be editing, which is what I'm going to show you in the next video, because that's very important, is the editing skills. So I'm going to show you how to do that in the next video. So be sure to catch that when you're done here. I'm going to show you what equipment you need and how to upload the pictures and everything. Now keep in mind, I'm going to be using Windows. Yes, I am an Apple fan, but I'm getting back soon. So bear with me as I deal with Windows. But I imagine the majority of you will be using Windows because it's just the fact that it owns 91% of the market share, or even more and more. So just a word just of advice on or just to prepare you, I'm going to be using Windows. So if you're using Mac, you want to find a tutorial. That's it for this tutorial. Be sure to catch part 2 after you're done here. Thanks for watching.